Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 81 of Impact Makers. Well, Dustin, we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to start with a little bit of story time because I was reminded recently of a famous quote from Wayne Gretzky. We usually talk about skate to where the puck is going, but this time it's a different quote of his. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and so I was reminded of that recently on a ski trip. So I planned a third ski trip this year. Doesn't typically happen. Past couple years it has, but this year it didn't look like it was going to happen. But some things changed. So the ski pass that I had 5 days at a particular resort close to my daughter in Montana, and on our family trip, that's where we went. But we only skied 3 days because the conditions weren't that great. Well, then, as typically happens when you're skiing, after you leave, they get a bunch of snow. And I'm thinking to myself, well, wait, it was a few inches away from being really great. What does it look like? What does the long range forecast look like? If I go 4 or 5 weeks out, I could, cash in some miles on, hotel, airfare, and kind of do this trip for free. And this forecast looked great. So I'm like, okay, Morgan was in, we've fast forward, we're a week out, about the time when I have to decide, am I going to keep the hotel reservation or not? We're going to do this. Forecast starts to change a little bit. Morgan tells me her foot isn't doing so well, it's not going to fit well in the ski boot. I pivot, ask my brother to come with. Are we going to do it? We decided to go. 2 days before we go, forecast completely changes. Should we still go? I was reminded, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm like, well, that's what I preach. We're still going to go. Day one, absolute garbage, Dustin. I cannot tell you. I've never skied on conditions that were worse. My brother and I are looking at each other like, what the heck is going on here? What did we decide? Did I just lose my decision-making authority in family trips for the rest of my life? Well, then the snow came. And we got about 8 inches of snow overnight. It was perfect the next day. It was just a 2-day trip. So first day, garbage. Next day, almost perfect for as what you can have for an April ski trip. And so all of that based on Wayne Gretzky saying you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Had we canceled because things, analysis paralysis, I'm trained by that. Forecast started to change. Maybe you shouldn't go. The timing might not be right, but we went, and we had a great second day. Looking back, love that we have that. So with that as the backdrop, Dustin, I think I see some applications to business CPA firms, going after new things. But what about you? What do you see? Contextualize that story to our CPA friend clients.
Yeah, since it's April 17th, I'm trying to I'm trying to think about how do we transition out of busy season, especially for our tax friends, right?
Yep.
And into what's next. And I come back to, when I hear that story, I come back to something that you and I both get a lot of juice out of doing, and we have a passion for, is we do some advisory training for seniors, supervisors, managers, how to be a better relationship person with your clients and uncover more opportunities than just filing a tax return or issuing an audit opinion on a financial statement, right? And so I come back to, as we look ahead the next 4 to 6 months of the year, this can be prime advisory territory. And I think it's really important that, yes, take some time to refresh and catch your breath. But at the same time, don't lose sight of the power of May, June, July, August, September for strategy, for planning, for advisory work. And that quote of, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, that's the application right there. Is let's look at being more intentional about what we do over these next 4 to 6 months. Let's not be afraid to send that email, to call that client, to schedule that session, to meet for coffee, to, meet with their leadership team and just talk, just build relationships, just learn what's keeping them up at night, learn what else what concerns they have, what else they have going, and just see if there's opportunity by asking questions that you can further enhance that relationship with the client to deliver additional value to that client. So that's how I've made the application is, let's not waste the next 4 to 6 months. Let's not be afraid to do those reach outs. Let's start, take a week or two here to recover, and then start making a plan for what you want to do and who you want to reach out to, and be bold.
Yeah, and in that plan, as the next step, pick five, pick 5 names, handful, because that first one might not go well. So don't fall in the trap of, well, I'm going to do one and see how it goes. Because if we would have done that based on the forecast on the ski trip, we wouldn't have gone, because it looked like that first day was going to be sketchy. But day 2 is 100% of what we were looking for. So do that with your plan to focus on advisory. Start with 5 and just agree that you're going to reach out to 5 and assess after you've connected with all 5.
I like it.
So let us know what you think.